G'day, how you going? Ianapolis here, your acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to my video. Today I want to show beginners just how to do your simple, basic, effective landscape. You know, skies, clouds, trees, fields, a bit of a stream or a lake, something like that. Now I want to get the size on the canvas there for you, and I will also get some colours going up the screen on this side here. That way you can find something similar, or if you have the same colours, beauty. Now, I want to start pretty much from the back and come forward. That's the way I do every painting, and this is for you beginners. Now if you're just a new fresh beginner starting to paint, just realise you've got to do a lot of practicing with trees and subjects within a painting before you do a full painting. And you can practice on anything like cardboard, canvas paper or canvas panels, and then go to the real good stuff when you're ready to do a painting. Right, so let's get right into it. So I'm going to start off with some craft white paint and some retarder to block in the sky area, because the sky is going to have some blending of clouds and stuff like that.
Tell everybody what's in that retarder and white paint.
Well, it's just the craft white paint, soft bodied white paint, and the retarder is going to slow down the drying time of this paint.
What do you mean, this paint?
Well, because I've only got it in this paint. When I use the sky colour and the clouds, I don't have retarder in that.
Fair enough.
So about halfway, I'll just do my sky. So what I'm going to do is crisscross this into the tooth of the canvas and get it blocked right in there with this big, beautiful push around, putter on a brush. See, half that canvas is painted now. Didn't take long at all, did it?
Not really, you got right into that.
Exactly, and that's what this putter on a brush does. So now you've got it on there. Now I want to go to the tip of the brush and stroke that left and right.
Like a pure gentleman.
Yeah, like a pure gentleman at times. And then we're ready to put our sky colours in. Okay, I've just wiped the brush, and now I'm going to use some cerulean blue. That's my choice of the sky colour. Just a simple blue sky. So I'm going to grab that on both sides of my putter on a brush, and I want to start at the top of the canvas and work my way down to the horizon line.
What's the big deal starting at the top? Why can't you start anywhere?
Because when you start at the top, your thicker paint's here, right? And then we're going to bring it down to the horizon line. And as you come down, it's going to slowly get lighter and lighter. And you'll create the illusion that your sky is in a sphere shape.
What's a sphere shape?
Sphere is round. You're getting that round look in your sky. So I've crisscrossed it in, get down there, and in general the top now is a little bit darker than down the bottom of the horizon line. Now we can add some clouds. Okay, I'm going to grab some titanium white just on a hog bristle fan brush, and I want to stamp in some clouds in the sky. And a good idea, instead of just doing all clouds in the sky so they look like flat objects, let's try and get some dimension in our sky, okay? So on our horizon line, we can probably have a lot of flat lineal ones like this. I'll probably just do a long one all the way down the bottom until my brush tells me it's had enough.
How would it know it's had enough, Ian?
Well, right now, see how it's picked up all the blue? I've shown this before. It's had enough. It needs to be blended now. So I'm going to pick up the blending brush and also a cloth to wipe it. And I want to leave the top, but I want to come from about halfway, and I'm dancing and twisting and turmoiling this down.
What do you mean by turmoil?
Now, what I mean by turmoil is I've got bits of blue, bits of white. It's broken up. It's not just all the one value. It creates more depth, realism within your painting. You can see these brush strokes here. I'm slowly stamping them out like so and blending it down into the bottom horizon area. Tickle the tops a little bit and continue along your body of the cloud. Tickle the tops. Some people say, I've got scratch marks. You've got to blend the scratch marks. I've got heaps of scratch marks in there. Yeah, so you just need to dance and scratch and turmoil them out of your cloud like so. And that's coming down to the horizon line, just like that. And I want some more across the horizon line, so I'm going to show you. So I picked up some more paint. Now I'm going to keep it about that level because I've got some mountains coming here. So I'm going to start there, stamp it on and do the same kind of horizon line cloud just like that. Come right off your painting. Same procedure. I hope you can see those scratch marks because that's what I'm doing. Look, stamping them out. And I'm going to leave that hard bit there just to add some different depth within my clouds there. We're putting some behind and in front, bringing this down the horizon here. Now we'll get something over our head over here. So picking up some more of that titanium white. I've cleaned the little fan brush and I want to, I don't know, let's sort of come from about here. We're going to have a base. So I'm pretty much drawing my base, painting my base, but cloudulating the base as I go. And now I'm going to V shape and come from the center of the painting, pick up a bit more paint and stamp it on to the sky, coming right off the sky there, right off the sky, bang, like that. Get the base done, pull it, get them straight though. There we go. Let's say another base is about there and there. I like to call them a bum. And then start blending the turmoil like you did here, creating turmoil, brighter and duller values of the white, but the top now we're going to fade out. We're not going to leave that hard and sharp. If anything, the bottom side is hard and sharp. Over here, we're going to pull this up. Get rid of that. Now step back and have a look at your clouds. And I'm happy with that. What I might do, just to show you for the sake of the video's sake, we'll put a bit of cirrus something happening here. Just like that. Cirrus clouds are those soft, no edged looking clouds. They're just smoky and just like this. But they're just there creating the fill in the sky so there's not so much gaps. And that's a reasonable sky. Now we'll just add a bit of weather into that, real simple weather. Now to put a bit of weather in there, I simply grab some grey. You can even have a bit of magenta in here, but I'm just going to make it simple and grey. And we can start with this cloud. Don't go at the bottom. We want to start within the cloud like this. Get some of this just light where your clouds light with this here. And then bring some of this along, just like so. I'm using the corner of my fan brush. That's controlling where I want it. I've got gaps in between the footprint of this grey. So it's not going to be one big thick smear. And now you want to set this grey within the white, leaving the white there, but get some of that grey coming down the bottom of your cloud. And it's going to kind of create the weather within your cloud system. Get some of that down there. Now clouds take a lot of practice.
How long did it take you to paint clouds, Ian?
Well, ever since I started painting, every painting I do, I'm pretty much practicing how to do a cloud. Now we're going to go along and just here and there, not everywhere. I mucked around too much there. It was starting to get a bit dry and I want to get this. So I'm setting this grey into the cloud like so. There we go, it's starting to dry. I've got the door open. It's a very hot sunny day today. So depending on your climate, you've got a time to race with your retarder. Now I'd like to get some in this top cloud. So pretty much the bum of it. I want to work within the bum of those clouds, just like that. See, I've sort of put it on like that, coming from the bottom, and I want to blend it up into that cloud. Same here, blend it up into that cloud. And it's going to create more realism in your cloud system. Now just to finish them off, we're going to add some yumminess. Okay, I've washed my fan brush. I've got some more white again, titanium white, and I just want to gingerly to create the yumminess within the cloud, and that's going to give the clouds a bit more of a 3D look. So I'm going to do put it on and just softly sink down the hard edges. I'm dancing it, stamping it. I'm not really grinding it, and you can see what that's done. It's added the beautiful yumminess within our cloud system there. And we'll do a little bit in the top cloud as well, just to show you what. So we got there, we'll get something into that there. Dance that, yeah. So set it down, but leaving the vibrancy of it there. Just get rid of the stupid brush marks that might look deliberate. There we go. We can probably get a little bit of brightness there, which I like, and something there. And then sit that down.
So the key, Ian, is every subject you're painting, you need to practice that before you put it into a painting.
Exactly, little buddy. Practice is the key. All right, that'll do. We can keep doing that until the cows come home. So we've got a sky ready to put our mountains. Now let's not put some stupid big whoop-de-doo mountains like that. Mountains in real life, they're subtle. They're just subtle. So I want to kind of keep them under this row of clouds here. That's where I want to go with them. Now, I'm going to use a flat brush for me mountains, and I've got me blue here, the cerulean blue, and I'm going to add some red violet in there gradually. Now you can use red violet. If you don't have red violet, you can use some quinacridone magenta or permanent alizarin. You want to get that distant mountain purple look happening. Just what's in my brush, I've got enough paint. I want to grab the white into this, just to make this a real pale of that blue that I mixed, the purpley blue. And I want to get the one big mountain in the background. So we'll put this one about, scoot him up here. He's right in the background. That'll do. Bang, bring him down. There's our mountain. Now that can be dry. Ready for the next section. Now coming back down to this first blue and the red violet we mixed, we lined it up there for the distant mountain. We want to start putting the forward mountains in, because as we come forward, mountains are darker. So we're going to pretty much come up here, just sweeping meadowy mountains, and they can come all the way down like so. Just stamp them in if you can't scratch them in. If you scratch them in, see it's pulling white there, you might not want that to happen. So just simply go like that and block them in. We're coming along here, up there, down there, and off the painting. Always bring them off the painting if you can, and we'll put something in front of those two once I do this. So we're going to paint this on there now. And then we'll just put a little darker one there. So what we'll do to get it darker is we'll get a lot more of that red and add to it. Okay, I've given that a dry, and I just want to get this mountain in front there, over there, and coming down here. That'll do. And we want that the same as those mountains there, but darker. So I'm going to stamp it on, and if it's not darker, well, after I've stamped it on, I'll mix up a bit more so I know exactly where I'm going. But before I do, I want to grab some of this white. In the bottom of these mountains here, I want to get a little bit softer, so I'm just going to push some softness there, like that. It's just going to act like mist at the bottom. Just these ones here, just something like that. Do this before you dry it actually. Get that scrumbled into that blue colour there. There we go. And we'll get this just on there like that. And that white that I put on is sinking the one before it back. There we go. Nice and subtle, nothing too aggressive like I said. Get that down there. Take your time, there's no rush to do a painting, okay? Okay, now before we put all the field and everything in, I want to get a bit of a lake here. So I want to do that first so I can bring the land to it. So what I'm going to do, simply grab, let's say some of this base coat we had for the sky of the craft paint retarder. Simply put that where you want your lake. So I want my lake about here. Just something at the very front there, just something about there. It's bigger than where I want it so I can bring the land to it, okay? Now simply wipe your brush, get all that bulk of the white off. And we're going to pick up some of the cerulean blue now, and we just want to do this. There's me lake. I want to get, let's say, lines here. So I'm going to stamp them on, stamping it the way I want. Turn the brush around. How far am I going to bring that lake? About here somewhere. I've stamped it on. Simply wipe that brush, use that, or even you put it on a brush, and you want to waterify that water now. So we're going to waterify it just like that. Straight across the page, in cahoots with the horizon line.
What does cahoots mean, Ian?
The horizon line is that way, so my brush strokes are that way. They're in the same team. They're doing the same. So that's me water there. Okay, I've dried all this. Now I want to map in the foreground and the fields here, just with a dark green, and slowly bring it lighter when I want. And for me, the best way to get a dark green, if you don't have it, I've got some sap green here. So I'm just going to use basic sap green. If you've got a dark perylene green, use it. I've got some sap green and some black. Now what I'm going to do is gradually mix that black with the green till it's the black green that I want. Sort of like a perylene green. It might not be a perylene green, but to me it'll do the same thing. And there we go, I'm happy with that. I've brush mixed it. Now I need to wet my brush, so I'm going to get a lot of transferring from that onto the canvas. And for a start, we'll probably just sink everything back nice and wavy. Well, that's a bit of a straight line, isn't it, for wavy? So what I'll do is I'll come up a bit and then bring it down so I can create a way. And then I want to come, let's say here, from here, we'll come right up here, leaving a bit of that there. This is all going to be green, because green is nice. There we go. Now that can be dried. Okay, I've got some yellow green here. Just simply want to get my distant mountain mapped in first. So let's get this one all the way up there onto that dark colour. Don't leave the dark colour behind it, colour it in. There we go. And the black that you might see coming through it, that's okay because it's adding depth. I want to pull this back in front of it though, like that. I'm going to grab some white and put it in this area here. This is titanium white from the tube, the good stuff. I could have used a craft white. Get this grassy field that's distant, it's in the background, it's all different lays and ways. There we go, look at that. It's more thicker. I'm happy with that. And now I'll bring this one right in front of it. There we go. Play around with your paint. See how that looks a bit more, just looks a bit more, I don't know, better. Now I've dried what's on the canvas. I'm picking up a flat filbert because see this colour here that we mixed up? I want some of this to create some distant trees out there, and you need this colour. So when it's on your palette, keep it. I sprayed this with a bottle of water. And just on here, I want to put some distant trees, my umbrella shapes like I do. Leave some gaps in between them like so, some air in between them. I want about a group there, let's say another group here. Leaving some air underneath them like that. And then the bottom of that mountain, which is here, I want some here setting that back. So right up there, getting the, this is going to be set back with some more hill, so you'll see what I mean. So we're getting all this done. Now see how this is stamping onto that green? If I didn't dry it, being acrylic, it would have mudded up, given you a lot of grief, and you'll be thinking, why didn't it work for me? It's simply because you didn't dry it. There we go. We'll get some on the field as well a bit, so we can cast some shadow. I'll try and get some shadow just by where I've stamped this on, like so. I'll just sort of pull some shadow that way. So in a distance, these are going to look like they've got their own shadow. Just use the rest of this paint up. There. Now I'm getting the same brush and I want to highlight those trees that I just put in now. So I've got the sap green, but it's a bit dark. I want to brighten it up with some yellow ochre. This gives it a real highlighted colour in my opinion. So get mixing that in there until you're happy with the value. Some yellow ochre and just some simple sap green. And then I'm going to dampen my brush a little bit.
Why? It's already wet full of paint.
Yeah, but it's thick paint. You need to dampen it a bit and make this paint now a little bit inky, but not too inky where it's see-through. See, like that? Now this is different to that. These are the little facets you got to learn, little buddy. And over here, I want to dance the colour of these trees in, leaving the depth underneath it and that shadow on the ground. Don't colour that shadow in. Just like so. And we're just simply doing that over the shadow there. That purple I put on is creating the depth for these trees. If I just stamped this over that green there, it would have looked a bit hollow and weak and something not quite right about it. So that's why we need the darks within our objects. The lights and darks help each other. Now we can highlight this. Okay, so now with just what's in the brush, grab your yellow ochre and mix this. And if it's not enough green, simply pull a bit more into it. And we want to highlight those trees, and it's going to be more of a realistic colour. It's sort of like mustardy. Let's see what a bit of white does. If you want to add a bit of white, yeah, there we go. So, same brush. Now go right to the top area there. Oh, that's too, you don't want to do that. Nice and thin. Leaving the darks, crisp this down onto the shadow. And that's pretty much a group of trees there. That big blob that I first put on, I'm going to get the darker colour. I'll do that off camera though, and I'll fix that up. And then later on through the film, you'll see just how it turned out. But I'm just going to grab the darker colour, and what I'm doing now, darkening it back up. I will grab that darker colour and get that back. There we go, wipe the brush. So we get this. Past the darkness of it. Don't leave the dark on the edge. It looks wrong when you do that. Now don't do all of the area that you did with the previous colour, just bits and bobs of it. Bits and bobs of it. Scattering down into the darker bit there, like so. And after this colour, I will put the slightest white tint into this just to highlight little bits of it. And then you, like I said before, step back, have a look at it, analyse and adjust. And you can see how that purpley first colour I put on is adding depth within these shrubs, trees, bushes, whatever they are. They can be whatever you want, it's your painting. So I'm going to grab some white and mix into that, so it's a lot brighter. Now see, I want to show you something here. At the moment, all those bushes, they look flat. We've got to try and make things look in front and behind, so I'm looking at it. I might put this behind. I'll put this in front first, like this, coming right in front of it, just bits and bobs, pushing it back. See, I'm going to use this edge here to push it back into the, there you go. That's that half of it. Then I'll do just this bit here of it, just that bit now, coming from here, there, done. Now I'm going to continue bringing this bush there. It's got bits and bobs all in front. This highlight is what creates the shape. Bits down into the dark there. So I'll put that there. We'll just do the top of this because this is going to be at the back. That'll do. Down the middle and the top. And then the one to the left, I want to bring that creeping in front of that. And you can see how we made things, hopefully when I look in my viewfinder, it's going to look a bit more three-dimensional. Fixing these edges up so they don't look wrong or floating or whatever. Not too much though, just gingerly does it, gingerly. Got me script liner, I've just got some white and I want to lace a bit of darkness in there as well, just so as I'll get a marbly procedure happening on the canvas hopefully. And from the bottom I want to try and get the most smallest but winding up trunks. Now I didn't draw anything, and get some trunks in here. Wet it so it's inky enough to flow in. See how this one here broke? You don't want it to break, and you want them nice and fine if you can. Start from the bottom and just wind your way up. It's all going to be sunk back with the next grass now. So I've got this yellow green that I had, and I'm going to make some use of this cadmium yellow light. Okay, I've got some of that sap green. Let's put a bit of that in there as well. We're going to get a different green. Mix up enough so you don't run out. Get some more of that green. Get some water in there. And for this, I'd like to probably bring it up here, sweeping down right in front of this now. I want to sink those trees back. That's what this one's for, to sink those trees back. Not too high, but not too low. Just work it out. Make it wiggly. It's nature. There's no straight lines in nature, and there's no dark outlines in nature. So try not to put any dark outlines in anything nature in your painting. Down there and about this fat. We can go beyond where we're going to go so we can bring in the other one later. And this is just a simple layering of a landscape. Something you can put on your wall, and when your friends and that are sitting down having a dinner party with you, they're looking at it going, I like your art, I like it. There we go. Now we're ready to do the next layer. See? Now to give this some more value, I'm just picking up some white in my brush, stabbing it into the brush. And along the top part there, it's still wet, so let's see if I have to dry it. I'll get away with it. I want to push the other one back by bringing this in front of it like that. And I'm trying to leave it wet so it'll smear into it a lot better than doing it dry. And make it grass. Try and get that grass look about it. I've got some forest green on its own, just to map in a darker value of our next shrubs. And we can probably put some shrubs here. So we need these to be shrubs now. Try not to make them look too much like that if you can help it. I probably should have used a different brush. So I'm using my little shrub brush. It was a flat, but it's all spaded out and munted now. But this, for me, find your brush. Everyone's got different brushes. find the brush that does your little shrubs. I want shrubs coming here now, like right off the painting, coming down into the, up there. I even could have used my deer foot for this, but this will do. There we go, look at those little shrub bushy things. Dark at the bottom. And we can fade away around here somewhere. Give this a dry and then we can highlight this backwards and forwards. So with what's just in the brush, grab the cadmium yellow medium and start stamping it into that, so you're getting your brush conditioned, ready to highlight what's up there. And we want to put shrubs in front and behind each other. Right to the edge there. Right to the edge there like that. Come around and sort of stop there. Because I want to bring this as in two shrubs. So now I want to bring this there. There's our shrub. And the same over here. Leaving the darks there, don't pump that dark away too much. I want this there. Just doing some simple little shrubberies here. Stamping it on like that, yeah. And I want to bring this right in front of that now. Boom. Just grab a little bit of white and put with this. Just a little bit. And you want to create a slight minted colour of that paint now. You want to just set that feel back with this minted colour. Hopefully it's going to work and not make a liar out of me. Just do the tops of your little shrubs there. Not much. I'm not putting much there. Just trying to sink back that backward field on the very tops and making it look like light is hitting these green, well-watered plants here. The gardener here does a good job with his watering. And I'm bringing the bits that I want in front with this extra colour highlight. That'll do it. Don't muck with it, you can destroy it by mucking with it too much. Okay, I've got forest green. I'm going to grab my yellow ochre and mix a different green for the front foreground. So I want to mix this up. I want it to be different to that colour green. That's why I'm using forest green. And I could probably put the slightest bit of white in there. Let's see what that does. This is a more, I don't know, hopefully a grassier green. Where was that green used? Oh, that was back up in there. I need some more cadmium yellow medium to get this the value I want. I want it different to that green because that's the one that my shrubs have done and I don't want it to clash with them. There we go, we're getting there, we are getting there. See how you do things on your palette? You use your mind, your visuals. There we go. I'll get this a bit inky because we've got to map in the last bit of the field now. So I want to get underneath here, leaving that shadow there, leaving the depth there, backwards and forwards, just gingerly coming along, bringing that here, okay? And now come down to your water's edge. You can leave a bit of dark there if you want. Leave some darkness in this grass as well if you want. Scratch it. I'm scratching it in the way I want it to lay, pretty much like so. I've got some of that black left there. It's creating depth within this front area here. Leave a little bit of darkness against the water there. Pulling it through. This is a bit of a sweep. Oh, see, it's clashing with that. So be aware that where it's going to clash, it's not going to clash. Pull that up there. I might put a little bit of white just on the tip of my brush. Let's see what that does. Oh yeah, there we go. Saved it. I'm going to pull that. pull that in front there. So we can have this sort of a whiter value if we want of green, minted value of green. I'll get this done so far first, just so you can see what the guru's doing. So I've washed the paint. I don't want that colour now. I want to go back to this colour where it was clashing with the middle one. Because I put white with this and put it there, this by rights now is not going to clash with it, I hope. So now we're going to come across, go to the edge of that dark edge. Don't leave the dark edge there on this one because this is in front. Get rid of that dark edge. But you can leave darkness in there if you need be. This is going to be more lawn, field, and this is going to come pretty much up here. Cut that back, right? Cut it back and then come down under these shrubs here where your darkness is. Boom. Get it hard against there because it's sitting them back. They're behind this ground. They're not on it. They're behind it. There's a difference. Like these up there are on that ground. Now we want to create the shape of our ground with this green. Hang on. Leaving some of the darks there if you need be. Just analyse it like I said. And that hill looks a bit dumb there. So what I might do is just bring this right up there and then down in front of that. So because I put the white on that colour, that allowed this colour to set it back. Otherwise it would have clashed. Now I'm going to grab the cadmium yellow and get some of this a lot brighter. Now I've grabbed that yellow and I've just scratched it all the way along there, just getting some grass in there. Now I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to put these shadows. See how that's not quite right? I want to show you how to fix that up. So grabbing the forest green that we use, probably a little bit of black won't hurt, just to blackulate it. Now let your brush wear out a paint. Come from that dark colour and then let's pull some shadows into that lawn there. Wherever the sun's shining, it's just, and we're getting some kind of shadow there. It's not, let me see that. That's a little bit better. We can have bits tucked in there and bits dragging out. We're just getting rid of that hard line so the shadows can just sort of do their thing on the lawn. Step back, analyse it. Some bits might be brighter or darker than others, so it's up to you to use your artistic license and adjust it. I'm dying to have a look at my monitor just to see how this is faring, but I want this to be kind of shadowy looking so it doesn't look all wrong. Because, you know, this is the middle of the day. I don't know where the sun's... I can say it's coming that way or that way, but it's way up in the sky. It's everywhere. The sun's everywhere. I'm just looking, so I'm grabbing this dark colour, and like I did over here, I'm feeling that hard edge. Could have worked if it didn't clash with the one behind. So what I'm doing now is creating a shadow like these canopies are casting over here, and I'm just gingerly, I'll do half of it just to show you. We can look at this half and that half and see which version you like. So when you're doing your version of this painting, or any procedure where you got this happening in your painting, you know which way you want to go about it. So we've got daylight and shadow within there, and let's just see how this is going to look. And you can either, yeah, I'm liking that. It's got like shadow on the field there. All right, I'm grabbing just some of this white, let it mix with some of the green a bit, but mainly white. And we'll just put our signature on here. Then we can whack a frame on it. I want to try and get my signature nice and delicate and tiny and artistically neat. Whoom. Now, hit the join button below. Become a member of my YouTube page. Get perks, badges, emojis, shout outs, video calls one-on-one with me. Let's whack a frame on this and see how she looks. Yeah, there we go. That's not too shabby, is it? We've just got a beautiful landscape scenery with a few facets in there, bit of distance. You can just put some buildings in there, some more trees. But I know as a beginner, you can do it. Well, what a lot of fun that was. Beautiful landscape painting for a beginner, something you can hang on your wall. And if you feel you're having trouble, it's just a matter of practice. All right? Check out this next video. And if you like what I'm doing, tell your friends. But if you don't, you tell everybody. Goodbye, good luck, and good on ya.